Hello. So I thought I would share with you a short video about the pulling power of 3 a.m. thinking. In fact, it's not just 3 a.m. thinking, it's thinking that can happen at any time. But for me, it happened to wake me up at 3 a.m. and keep me sort of in that place of throwing lots of thoughts over and over and analysing them, which I'm sure we all do. The content of the thinking felt really, really important at that time. It was actually relating to work and perceived pressures and deadlines, which I'm sure is familiar for many people. And it's so easy and so compelling in those moments to feel that there's something to fix and there's something that we need to do. There's a real urgency around that feeling that we feel like we need to act on it and we need to know the answer immediately. In those situations, I'm really lucky in that I can ask my coach for some assistance, and it's normally a bit of a flag for me that I'm caught up in my head because the pace of thinking is quite frantic. I'm searching for an answer, and that is a clue that I'm possibly looking in the wrong direction. And he very helpfully reminded me of the importance of looking at the clarity and the discrepancy between content of thinking and the nature of thinking. We get so fixated on trying to manipulate, change, examine, explore the content of our thinking as if it's really, really, truly important. But actually, it's really helpful to have that perspective to remember that it is all thought. It's fluctuation of thought, of course, and there's different expressions of mood, and it feels like certain kinds of thinking, like guilt related or anxious, or I don't know, this is almost like it feels like there's an inherent hierarchy of thinking and the nature of thinking, in that we need to act on certain things but maybe less on others because they are less emotive maybe to us. But we forget that it's all made of exactly the same stuff. There is no other way that we can be receiving this and creating this reality than through the medium of thought. And it's often in those moments that we need sort of just gently guiding back to the realisation that when we're in that personal thinking that's all about me and my identity and how it relates to me and my personality, it feels quite constricting and it feels like there's something to solve and there's a kind of frantic nature to it. And it feels like there's so much to do. And actually, often it's the reverse. It's actually just in letting go and letting that dissolve and dissipate into the space that, there's a sense of seeing that there's a lot less fixing to do than we thought, because actually the nature of our experiences are that they arise and then they dissolve in the space. And it happens quite randomly. We feel that we have to create meaning, or our ego feels like it needs to create meaning out of all of that. It looks at causality of like cause and effect and creates equations to try and make sense of it. So, when I feel like this, I do this, and therefore I need to change this, when actually it's all just different frequencies of thought that are rising and fluctuating. And that's okay, because actually we're never going to be on the same wavelength all the time. There will be highs and lows, there'll be oscillations, but they're all made of the same stuff. And that my well-being, your well-being, our collective well-being is never affected by that fluctuation, ever. It's always just there. And any sense of feeling we need to fix it comes from an idea that we need to be okay and we have to do something in order to be okay. But when we see very deeply that okayness is always there, then suddenly there's this beautiful allowfulness for any kind of thinking to come through, and less of a need to interfere with it all. So I hope that helps you if you have any thought storms arising. Take care. Bye bye.